Love makes us blind. It makes us ignore the little things, the red flags, the warning signs, because we want to believe that what we have is real. For 4 years, I believed I had found my person. Tessa was everything I had ever wanted, witty, confident, and fiercely independent. We moved in together after a year, built a life side by side, and eventually marriage became the next step. I still remember the night I proposed. It wasn't some extravagant, over-the-top display, just the two of us, sitting on the couch eating takeout when I pulled out a small velvet box. She gasped, covered her mouth, and when she looked at me, her eyes were filled with tears. Yes. Of course, yes, she had said, throwing her arms around me. That night, we started dreaming together about a beautiful fall wedding by the lake, a cozy little home, and the future we'd build together. But now, as I sit here alone, staring at the empty space where our couch used to be, I wonder, how did I not see this coming? They say hindsight is 20/20. Looking back, I can see the signs were always there. At first, Tessa was excited about wedding planning. She filled my inbox with Pinterest boards, debated over wedding dresses, and asked me whether I preferred tulips or roses. But then, she just stopped. At first, I thought she was just busy with work. Freelancing was unpredictable, and some months were more stressful than others. But even when she had free time, she never returned to wedding discussions. "Have you picked your bridesmaids yet?" I asked one evening as we lay in bed. She shrugged. "Not yet. Still thinking about it." The same happened when I asked about the cake, the venue, the music. Every question was met with vague responses. "There's still time." And then there was her phone. She was always on it, smiling at messages she never shared. She would tilt the screen away from me when I walked into the room. When I asked who she was texting, she'd casually say, "Just a friend." I wanted to believe her. I didn't want to be the jealous, insecure fiancé, so I let it go. But the universe has a funny way of revealing the truth. One night, it all came crashing down. We were out with friends at a small get-together. Someone suggested playing a TikTok game, a challenge where you answer personal questions without showing emotion. It was fun at first, silly questions, laughter, teasing. Then someone asked, if you could relive one past relationship, which one would it be? Without hesitation, Tessa smiled and said, "Oh, probably Dylan." The room went silent. Dylan, her ex from college, the one who had cheated on her, the one who, according to her, had ruined her ability to trust men. I felt a strange, hollow sensation in my chest. She noticed the awkward silence and quickly added, "I mean, not that I'd want to. It was just a significant part of my past." I forced a smile and kept quiet. But inside, something shifted. That night as we got home, I asked, "Why did you say Dylan?" She rolled her eyes. "Liam, it was a dumb game. Don't take it so seriously. But of all the people you could have named, why him? It doesn't mean anything. Just drop it, okay?" I dropped it, but I didn't forget. After that night, the changes in her became impossible to ignore. That Friday, I got home earlier than usual. I had a plan. I'd order takeout, pick a movie, and have a cozy night with Tessa. But when I walked in, the energy in the apartment felt off. Tessa was sitting on the couch, staring at her laptop screen, but she wasn't working. She barely acknowledged my presence. "Hey, I'm home," I said. "You're early," she replied. I stood there for a moment, feeling the heavy silence between us. Then finally, she closed her laptop and looked at me. "I need to talk to you about something." A cold sensation ran down my spine. "Okay," I said, sitting across from her. She took a deep breath like she was preparing for something big. Then she said it. "I think we should take a break." I stared at her. "A break? Why?" She hesitated before saying, "I need to figure out how I feel about Dylan." I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so ridiculous I didn't know how else to react. You want a break? So you can see if you still have feelings for your ex? Liam, it's not like that. Then what is it like? I just need time to be sure I'm making the right choice with you. If it doesn't work out, I promise I'll come back. That was it. She thought I would just sit here and wait. I looked at her, and in that moment, I made a decision. All right, I said. Take your break. She blinked, clearly not expecting me to agree so easily. This isn't forever, she said. We'll talk when I've had some time. Sure, she left that night, probably thinking she had me right where she wanted me. She had no idea what was coming. The moment Tessa walked out that door, she probably thought I would sit around, waiting for her to figure things out, that I'd spend my nights staring at my phone, hoping she'd call, that I'd still be there when she realized she had made a mistake. She had no idea who she was dealing with. The next morning, while she was busy reconnecting with Dylan, I was making moves. First, I called my realtor. The house, which, as I reminded myself, was in my name, was going on the market. With the way the housing market was booming, I knew it would sell fast. Next, I started packing. Not just my things, hers too. Every sweater she had draped over my chair, every book she left on the nightstand, even the ridiculous live laugh love sign she insisted on putting up in the kitchen. I hired a moving company and had all her belongings delivered straight to her mother's house. I didn't text her, didn't call. I just left a short note. Here's your stuff. Good luck with Dylan. No explanation. No argument. Just facts. Then I focused on me. I had always wanted to move to the West Coast, but I kept putting it off because of our life together. Now, there was nothing holding me back. I called my boss, asked about opportunities at our San Francisco office, and by Monday morning my transfer request was officially in motion. I wasn't just moving on, I was moving forward. At first, Tessa was quiet. She probably thought I was giving her space, that I was waiting for her like some devoted, lovesick fool. Then she found out I had listed the house. Her first message was lighthearted. Hey, hope you're doing okay. Just wanted to check in. I didn't respond. Then came the concerned texts. Hey, I heard from some friends that you put the house up for sale. Are you serious? Still, I didn't respond. Then the real panic set in. What are you doing? Why are you acting like this is over? Finally, I replied, because it is over, Tessa. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. That's when the calls started. At first, I ignored them, but then she showed up at my office. Her eyes were red, her face tear-streaked. The moment she saw me, she burst into fresh sobs. I made a mistake, she whispered. I thought I needed to see if I still had feelings for Dylan, but I was wrong. It was you all along. Please, we can fix this. I just looked at her. Not with anger, not with sadness, just clarity. No, Tessa, the problem wasn't Dylan. The problem was that you thought I was an option. She started crying harder. I was scared, she sobbed. I didn't know what I wanted. And now you do? I asked, tilting my head. Yes, I want you. I sighed. No, Tessa, you don't want me. You just don't want to deal with the consequences of your choices. She shook her head, reaching for my hand. I pulled away. You made your decision, and now I'm making mine. Goodbye, Tessa. I walked away, leaving her standing there in the middle of my office, surrounded by people who had heard everything. I never saw her again. A few weeks later, I was scrolling through social media when I saw it. Tessa's attempt to control the narrative. Her posts were filled with vague, dramatic quotes. Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find what truly matters. Healing isn't linear. Some people just can't handle growth. It was hilarious watching her try to paint herself as the victim. Then came the professional fallout. Tessa's work relied heavily on word-of-mouth recommendations. Turns out, people don't like working with someone who treats commitment like a trial period. Clients started dropping her. One of her biggest contracts, ironically a company run by one of my professional connections, reached out to me directly. "We heard what happened. We're looking for someone who can commit to long-term projects. Do you know any reliable designers?" I passed the opportunity on to a talented designer I knew, someone who wasn't Tessa. Then the final blow came. Dylan, the same guy she threw everything away for, dumped her. And the best part? He used her exact words, "I just need some time to figure things out." Karma. Looking back, I realized that losing Tessa was never really a loss. It was a blessing. I could have spent years with someone who saw me as a backup plan. I could have married a woman who needed to test her love for me by running back to someone who had already broken her. Instead, I chose me. Now I wake up every morning in a new city, in an apartment that's entirely mine, building a future that no longer depends on someone else's indecision. My job is thriving, my social circle is growing, and for the first time in a long time, I feel free. And Tessa? She got exactly what she wanted, the chance to see if Dylan was the right choice. Turns out he wasn't. And by the time she realized it, I was already gone. She reached out one last time, an email, asking for old photos from our shared cloud account. "I know you're trying to erase me from your life, but you can't just delete our memories. Those 4 years meant something. Read it once, and then I sent my reply. You're right. Those years taught me exactly what I don't want in a partner. Thanks for the lesson." Then I hit delete. Some people say I was too harsh, that she was just confused, that everyone makes mistakes. But this wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. Every text she sent Dylan, every time she lied about where she was, every second she spent planning her break instead of her wedding, those were all choices. And choices have consequences. I made my own choice. I chose me. So if you're ever in a situation where someone is treating you like an option, do yourself a favor. Walk away. Not to make them miss you. Not to teach them a lesson. But because you deserve better, and trust me, you'll never regret it. Thank you for everything. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.